So guys, welcome to the second chapter of research methodology. I hope you have seen the first chapter. You have gone through the first chapter. In the first chapter, what we have discussed is, let me tell you, we have discussed about the research, what the research is, what are the different type of research on the different basis. We have seen on the basis of outcome, on the basis of purpose, on the basis of time, on the basis of process. These all things we have seen. There are the various type of research on the various basis. We also have seen what are the characteristics of a research. We have seen what the importance of a research. We have also seen what is the scientific methods, what are the 4 things which must be fulfilled to become a scientific research. Then we have seen what is the process of research, and that process is all about from the identification of a need to the problem identification from the report submission. And then we have completed our last class with the characteristics of a good research, or what are the different criteria to become a good research. Means your problem must be clearly defined. What about the methodology you are going to choose? It is related with the problem. Your research questions or your research objectives must be aligned to the problem statement. Your objectives or your specific questions are not very much general. It must very much specific so that you will get the right answer. These type of things we have seen in our chapter number 1. Today, this chapter number 2 is basically, in this chapter we are going to understand these 3 basic things. What is research problem? What is research questions? And what about the literature review? These 3 are different concepts, but when we are going to do the actual research, they are the part of a chapter number 1. Means when we are going to do a background of the study, after background of the study we will see about the research problem, then like a statement of the problem, research questions, research objective. These are the things which we have to do in our actual research. So when we are going to do is, at least we should, before that we should know what are those things are. Like research problem, what the research problem is. We are not saying that this is the problem and I am going to take the solution. No, research problem has certain criteria, certain things from where we are getting that research problem. So let us start with these 3 things or these 4 things we are going to cover. Like what is research problem, technique and approaches to research problem definition, then problem formulation, research question and hypothesis. Hypothesis is not the part of your syllabus, but still I will give you some basic idea about the hypothesis, how it is related with your objective. Then literature review. Let us see one by one. What is research problem? In research process, the first step happen to be identify and properly define a research problem. Always. See, whenever we are facing any difficulties, personally or theoretically, observed by somebody else or by the researcher itself, when he is seeing the problem in a society, he is seeing the problem in his own organization, he is seeing the problem in his area, he is seeing the problem in anywhere by his personal experience, by his other people experience, and he want to give the solution for that one. That is the first step, is always the research problem. A research problem in general refer to some difficulty which a researcher faces, his own experience, in the context of both a theoretical or practical situation, and want to obtain a solution for the same. So this is the research problem. As per the Kothari, this is the definition of a research problem. And what are the sources of research problem? There is no only one sources that personal experience is only that. No, they are the basically various sources. Like let me tell you about some of the sources. Personal experience. Let us give 2 examples from each. Personal experience, being a researcher, I was facing that my teams are not motivated. Or what are the factors which will motivate my team? So motivation, not motivation, or demotivated team members are my problem. It is my personal experience. Being a team leader, I am facing this personal experience. So another personal experience is, like suppose I am working in a education field, and I observe that the students are not getting involved in the practical things. Rather, they want to take the theoretical things, pass the exam and going. So what is my problem is, make the students involved in the practical. field, so that when they are going to the market for the job, for their own businesses, they have the some practical experience also. So that is the personal experience, being a manager, being educators, being a professor, which I am facing. Practical experience also when I am doing something. In first case, I may observe something. In second case, when I am doing something, I am facing a problem. Like when I am teaching, I am facing a problem that the poor environment or poor infrastructure or poor availability of the resources or poor internet connections or technologies are very old or inappropriate technology or obsolete technology we are using, so that there is a problem in the teaching. So that is my practical experience. So being a researcher, when I am facing some personal experience by the observation, practical experience by the doing, I am going to find a solution for that problem. So next one is a critical appraisal of literature. Critical appraisal of literature means I have read something. It may be from the government data, it may be from the some magazines, it may be from the internet, and I feel that I may have some different idea from this literature which is already published. So I may go for the research. I find it, what is my idea is, whether I am wrong or right, whether the person who has published these things is the right or wrong. So I will give a critical appraisal of literature with the help of research. That is my problem. I want to find out that my idea or my experience or my view on this thing is not matched with the literature, so I will go into that one. Previous research. With the help of previous research, we can do two type of research. Like in the previous research, where is his scope? What is his limitation? Where he is saying that this research is valid for this particular place, this research is valid for only this type of people, this research is valid for this many of years. So where his limitation is, I want to go beyond that. Or if you say that research is benefited only for this one, with the help of previous research, I will take to the next level, to the next finding. So that also one of the source for my research problem. Existing theory. Some theories are there, some facts are there. So whether to verify the theory, whether to, if there is any changes, if there is any proof, to verify the things, to verify the theory, to prove the theory. When we are going to do a research, it is the source is the existing theory. Social issue. There are various social issues in different countries. Like women empowerment is one of the issue, social issue. Like the pollution is a social issue. Like the child labor is a social issue. So on the social issue, if people is going to take a solution, want to make a solution, that is also the one of the source. Brainstorming. Some people will sit together, 4 to 6, typically 5 to 7 maximum. People are sitting together. They may have different problem experience, so they will share their experience. If all the experience is related to one thing, so they will come out with the one big problem and they will go for the research. Or every people have the different issues, so they have the different problems. Then they will see which one is the most important or critical problem. They will start with that one. So brainstorming is all about the thinking among the people, come out with one particular big problem which they want to do. Intuition. Intuition is basically not the mere guess. Intuition is on the basis of some experience, on the basis of some knowledge, on the basis of some education, when people are guessing something like it is going to be happen in future. So it may not be going to be happen, or it is means exactly proof is not there, but it is his own intuition with his own senses, like by seeing, by hearing, or by the different senses. If the person has some intuition that there are something is going to be happen in the future, so to avoid those things, because it is not good for him or for his society or for his business, he is going to take a research, which is also known as what is called as a proactive approach. Folk roles. Folk roles are basically those stories which is coming from the various what you call as a generation. Maybe my mother has told me a story, his mother has told that a story that is there, and there is no proof for that one. So it may look authentic, it may look true, But whether it is right or wrong, whether it is true or false, let us prove it. For proving the folklores, or for proving the stories which was telling since many years, that researcher is going for a research. Explore to the field situation. Explore when we are going to some other places, it may be in some other countries, and facing the problem which we are not used to face in our country. So we try to know if this things is coming to our country, if this thing is facing with us in our company, what will be our action, what will be our reaction, what will be our solution. So by exposure of the field situation, when we are taking this research problem, we are going to find a solution for that one. And consultant with the expert. Sometimes we are not able to find out the problem, what the exact problem is. So we will sit with the people who had experience. Like if I want to know what is the problem in my marketing, and the marketing of my organization, so I will sit with the expert of marketing. I will ask him how to increase the sales without increasing the cost, without decreasing the people. So he may give us some idea which is not experienced by us. He may give us idea which is not practiced by us. So consultant with the expert. Like if I want to do a research in marketing field, a consultant of that particular field will give me the idea, this may be the problem, or this may be the future problem, you may go with this problem. Or if I want to do a research in IT or in finance, we will consult with the expert, we will share our idea, we will take his own experience idea, and then we will go for the research. So these are the some typical sources of research problem. Personal experience, practical experience by the same person, critical appraisal of the literature, like this one. So technique involved in defining a problem. Now we understand what the problem is. Problem is the first stage of research. Without problem understanding, without problem, we cannot go for the solution. So when we are identifying a problem from a different sources which I have just seen, there are some technique which is involved in defining a problem, like a statement of problem in a general way. See, problem, first we will write a problem in a general way, means one statement, big statement, what actually the problem is, which is also pure or defined or in a right sentence we are called as a topic. So we'll keep that things with some practical, scientific and intellectual interest. So in a general, what is my problem is we will write a statement where we are facing the problem, which is also called as a statement of the problem, means where the researcher is facing, how he got this problem, what is expectation from his solution, where he is going to use this thing. Is that understanding the nature of the problem. Nature of the problem means from where it comes, which field it belongs to, what is the origin of this problem. Statement of the problem is here. So like sometimes doctor asks what is the cause of this one. So what are the things, what is the nature of this one? This is the scientific nature, this has the social science nature, in nature, this is the government problem, what is the nature of the problem. Then when we have some idea about the problem, then we will also read some available literature relating with that one. So we will have the broader idea about it in defining a problem. So these are some technique. It's not like that you have to write like this way. This is the technique of defining a problem in a proper way. Means we will write in a sources of problem, what will be the expected solution, what is going to be give the benefit, then the nature of the problem, for which field it belong, then there's some literature related with that problem we are taking that one. And developing ideas through discussion, we will discuss the people who is related with those people. They may be the expert, they may be the colleague, they may be the other students, they may be the other researcher, so that we will get some problem of that one. Rephrasing the research problem means reformulation to get a broad idea, and also that's why we are giving the problem in a specific way, in a paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means not exactly writing the same thing what people have written before. You have to write your own words, in your own word about your problem. That is a paraphrasing. So after getting the idea about the problem, after reading some literature about the related with the problem, after discussing the people, we can frame our own sentence regarding the problem. So this is some technique. So how to define a problem. evaluation of the problem means, okay, the problem is there, but is the problem researchable? Because there is limitation for everything. Maybe the limitation is the researcher limitation. Maybe he doesn't have that much of knowledge, so it may not be researchable for him. Maybe he doesn't have that much of time or cost, so it may not be researchable. Maybe that problem is over research, so already the whatever the expected solution, negative, positive, neutral, or anything extra is already available, so no need of going that one. So is the research, is the problem researchable? Is the problem new? If it is new, how to proceed for that one? If it is not new, how much stages it has completed? So what will be the next step for you? Is the problem significant? Is it important for you at now, or is it not that much significant for your company? Is it problem feasible? Whether you are able to do this problem solution. So these are the evaluation of a problem. We define the problem, we understand the problem, but evaluation of the problem is like this. So I hope you understand the basic meaning of research problem. Research problem is basically the first stage of research, where we are seeing through different sources what the problem is. Then we are writing the problem in a statement form, writing the problem in a right form, a statement of the problem, where the problem is coming, what is the expectation of this problem, how to proceed the solution, what is the expectation from a solution. That is the research problem. The next thing is a research question and hypothesis. The research question is a statement of what you hope to have learned by the time you complete the program of research. It is a good practice to revise and refine the research question several times to ensure that you are very clear about what it is you really want to know. Means, in the research questions, we have the one big problem, or whatever the problem we have. When we stated that problem and make a topic, after that we divide those big problem into a smaller research form problem. Suppose one big statement is there, we have the 3 different research questions, and we want to take the solution of these all research questions, so that this research questions finally, whenever we have completed all the research questions, we are able to get our final solution of a big problem. For example, in the present case, you might begin with the questions: what is the difference between agent who sell more insurance and agent who sell less insurance? This can be the one research question for one big topic. Like maybe your research problem is you want to know that agent, or the factors which will make good agent or a simple agent, or what are the differences, or what is the problem people are not, or agents are not able to sell more insurance. So this may be your big problem. So in that big problem, you will see what are the differences. This is maybe your research question 1. What is the difference between agent who sell more insurance and the agent who sell less insurance? Then second question may be the different. What are the factors which motivate people to sell more? Then why? What are the things to get more information about the client? So these are the research questions for your big problem. And also, research questions also help to develop the questionnaire in the survey. For the survey, it also helps you to develop an interview when people are going for the survey. Research questions and its formulation. See, so as I told you, once you have defined the research question more clearly, you are in a better position to develop a good hypothesis. It will come to that one. But research question basically having the breaking down of your big problem in a research question, in a question form. What variables under the control of management have a cause effects on the amount of insurance sold by agents? See, this is another question. Research question for the one big problem of that one. So what the research question basically is, research question is all about when we are breaking down our main objective or main topic into various research question, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, how many, so that it will give the, when we are getting all the solution for the research question through our research analysis and conclusion, that is the research question. Then next one is the hypothesis formulation. Let me tell you, in some research you will find research questions are there. In some research you will find research hypotheses are there. In some research you will find both are there. But what the hypothesis is basically? Basically, if you say that the hypothesis is not a mere guess, hypothesis is an educated guess. What do you mean by the educated guess? Means on the basis of my knowledge, on the basis of my experience, on the basis of my observation, if I am predicting something, I can say that prediction is called as hypothesis. Suppose, for example, I am a professor and I am teaching my BBA and MBA students, and I know that my students are having the 12 year of knowledge and they come to this stage after passing a good exam. So, and they are learning in the 6th or 7th semester, so they have already knowledge about the 6 previous semester. On the basis of these things, if I say that my BBA students have the equal or they have the good experience about the market, or they have the good experience about the banking, this is not my mere guess. This is my educated guess on the various. Another example, if I am saying that there is no differences between the IQ level of male students and the female student, this is my hypothesis. Basically, we are writing hypothesis in two form: null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis, we want to test it. Like for example, if null hypothesis is male and female students have equal or the same IQ level, then the alternative hypothesis is male and female doesn't have the equal IQ level. We will test the null hypothesis and we will see whether it is true or not. That is the basic meaning of the hypothesis. Examples of hypothesis, you will see officers in my organization have a higher than average level of commitment. So these are some examples of that one hypothesis. As this is not the part of your syllabus, but still you should have some basic idea regarding this one. Or if you got a chance, I will tell you how to develop the hypothesis, how to go with the hypothesis. Or for the MBA classes, when we will prepare the video or prepare the word, you will get the variables. Let us understand what do you mean by the variables. See, variables general meaning is anything which vary, anything which change from time to time, from person to person, from situation to situation is called variables. Like if I am saying that the name of a person, it varies. The first person name can be anything, the second person can name. They may have the same name also, but it is vary from person to person. Gender, it vary from person to person. Or also you can say that the country, age, gender, income, marks, smoking habit, these all are the examples of variables. Then variable, generally we divide the variables on two bases. Like when we are going to analyze those variables, so we are giving them that they are the qualitative variables and quantitative variables. Quantitative variables are those variables which are representing in numbers, like, and that number have some sense. We are using that number for the comparison, we are using that number for the calculation, we are now using that number for the future trend. Like income, we can compare the income with other people. Like marks, we know who is the topper, who is the second topper, who has failed. Marks. Also we can say that the height, weight, these age, these are the variables which is quantitative variables, and some variables are qualitative variables where the numbers are not there, and if they are there, they are only for the representation, not for the calculation. Like if we are saying that the gender, male, female, what to do with that number? If we are saying that the 1 is for male and 2 is for the female, we cannot say 2 is 1 better than 1. No. It is only for the representation. So, or color, red, white, black, blue, they have the different color. Color of the skin, color of the eye, person, country, religion, these are the quality variable or qualitative variables. So on the basis of these things, we have the different statistics methods to identify. Another thing, also, when we want to find out some relationship between two or more variables, we have the different type of variable which is called as the dependent variable and independent variables. So when we are seeing the relationship between two or more variables, one may be the independent variable, or more than one can be the independent variable and one dependent variable. If I'm saying that if I want to see the relationship between Facebook uses, one variable, on the academic performance of the students, another variable. So academic performance is a dependent variable on which Facebook uses. If you increase your Facebook usage, there must be some changes in your academic performance. Of course, there are other variables also. So we are only talking about two variables now. And attribute to the, so these are the things, dependent and independent variable. I just told you about that one. If you see that the dependent variable is the variable a researcher is interested in, means we want to find out. An independent variable is a variable believed to affect the dependent variables. As I told you, I am interested in the academic performance of the students, so my dependent variable is in academic performance. And independent variable is Facebook usage. Independent variable is time consuming in the market. So these all things are there. Independent variable is what you manipulate also. Suppose if I increase the time of Facebook usage, what will happen to my dependent variable? If I decrease the usage of Facebook, what will happen to my dependent variable? So independent variable can also be manipulated, so to see the changes in the dependent variable. So when we are going to learn more in our third or fourth chapter, you have the better idea. Till now you understand that one, variables which vary from time to time, person to person, situation to situation, and also for the statistical purpose we have the qualitative variables, quantitative variables. For the verifying the relationship between two and more variables, we have the dependent variable, independent variables. Other variables are also there. Then literature review. Literature review is basically your second chapter of actual research. When we are doing the research, our first chapter is introduction, where we are doing the background of the study. We are doing research questions. We have to define the problem statement. We are defining the research objective. We are seeing the scope of the research. These all are the first chapter. Second chapter is all about the literature review. And the literature review is when you are reading the other people's work, or when you are taking the help of government data, help of book, help of internet to get the more knowledge related with your research, or as per your research what are the things is required, especially from the previous knowledge. Whenever we are taking this one, it is called as the literature review. Literature review must be properly refer, means whatever the or properly given the credit from where you have taken. If you have taken from the book, you have to give the credit of that book. If you have taken from some other researcher, give the credit to him by citing his name, by citing his way. There is a different way of citation. We will see that one: APA style, MLM style, Howard style. We are basically following the APA style for our research, social science, MBA or BBA level. The literature review is the integral part of entire research process and make a valuable contribution to the almost every operational step. If you see here, function of literature review, what is that one? It will give the clear and focus of about your research problem. What my problem is, I may get the review from other researcher, I may get the review from the book, I may have some theory. Let me tell you one more thing about the literature review. When we are seeing the literature review, we have the 2 or 3 division on that one, like conceptual things. We are writing some concept related with my literature. If my literature is regarding the motivation, so if I am reading what is the definition of motivation, what are the various review about the literature about the motivation, what are the various theories about the literature, what are the various functions about the motivation, what are the various advantage of the motivation. So I am taking the literature review of the concepts. And if suppose if I am doing some Analytical review. Analytical review means what other people have done same or similar type of research before, and I'm taking his knowledge to increase my knowledge. What is his result is. I'm not going to copy his result. I'm going to take, okay, if he has done this research in this particular area and his answer is like this. So I may have some empirical research review. So procedure, how you will go over the literature review. Search the existing literature in your area of study. Literature review doesn't mean you will read each and everything and you will put it. No. It must be related with your particular area. Right? Review the literature selected. Develop a theoretical framework. Theories related with all the paper. Develop a conceptual framework. Writing the literature review. You may also reframe the sentence in the literature, but citation must be there. Credit must be given from where we have taken that one. So this is all about that one, literature review. Let me add one more thing about the literature review. Whenever we are referring the literature, we have the different sources, like book is one source, internet is another source, survey is another source, previous research survey, and government data is another source. They are the various sources, but the thing is that are those sources authentic? We have to check this thing also. Are those sources are relevant to me? We have to check these also, because I have observed people are writing many things in the literature review. They may be relevant or they may not be relevant. So we focus when we are referring the literature, it must be related with your review. So this is all about today's class. We have discussed the things like the research problem, what are the sources of research problem, how to go with the review with the literature, how to review the research problem. Also we have seen that the research questions, how to develop the research questions, what are the importance of research questions. Basically research questions is used to develop the questionnaire, and also we have to complete all the research questions to get our final results. Then we have seen that about the hypothesis, a little view about the hypothesis. We have also seen what is the variables, what are the different type of variables, and finally we have discussed about the literature review. I hope you got this session very well. So before coming to the next class, please go through this video, and if you have any confusion, any clarification, we will discuss in the class face to face. Till that, thank you very much for your patience and for your listening.